start somewhere. Set aside a night. Circle it on your calendar. Tonight's the night. We're going to have family worship. We're going to set aside this time just for this, and we're going to give it a try. And it might be a complete disaster, but we did it, and it's the practice of it. It's about showing up. It's about being present, not perfect.
Hi, you're listening to the With Podcast. We're here to help your family
be with God,
with His Word,
and of course, with each other. Our hosts are Martha Harvey, our mom and favorite children's minister, and our dad, Dallas Harvey. He's a worship leader and a preacher. But enough about them. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the With Family Ministries podcast, where we believe in everyday faith for every family. I'm Dallas.
And I'm Martha.
Today on this episode, we're going to be talking about what it could look like to have family worship in your home, especially when you have a little bit more time to dedicate to it in the evenings.
So what we're going to do in this episode is just give you an example of an average night in the Harvey household where we have set aside time. Like, this is the night we are going to have family worship, and we are going to run our schedule like around this as the night centers on it. So we hope, like, just with this example, it starts to paint a picture of your mind of what it could look like, but it should not look exactly like this, because your family is not our family, and your home is different, and you have different kids and different ages, and so this is not a one-size-fits-all thing.
No.
We just want to give you an example to maybe get your wheels turning of like, ooh, we could do that, we could tweak this, let's change this, whatever. We just want to give you an example. So I'll start. On nights that we are like, tonight is a night for family worship, we usually set aside the whole evening. We try to limit activities throughout the week, and really we try to do that in general, or activities will have you like being, parent Ubers all over the place.
But it happens.
It happens, but we really try to protect these nights for family worship. And what we'll do is make sure that we have a meal together as a family. We think the table is such an important place for family to grow together. And so we will eat together as a family. Sometimes we'll even light candles if the kids are feeling it, and remind them that the light is Christ in our life. But we start kind of laying the foundation of the mood, the vibe, or
Sure.
whatever you want at dinner.
We start priming their hearts and expectations for dinner. And as you know, if you
Yes.
have kids or little ones, they need expectations set for them. Otherwise, things can get hairy.
Yeah. Dada, how did day go? How did day go tomorrow?
Yeah.
We get asked that all the time.
Right. And so if they have it in their head that right after dinner, they're about to go play in their room, and then you hit them with it's family worship time,
Yeah. They just want clear expectations.
Right.
So at dinner, they know already, like, we're going to have family worship tonight. Yeah. And whether or not we're having family worship right after dinner or not, we try to, when we're around the table, to practice some of these things all the time, which we're going to get into those ways to easily put faith into all moments in another episode. But here it is, just an average family worship night. So when we're at the table, what we'll do is always be really intentional to ask our children, how was their day? What's going on in their life? We love to play high-low buffalo, where they get to share the high of their day, the low of their day, and the buffalo is really whatever else they want to tell us, which, can be a little crazy at times, but it's fun. And you just never know what you're going to get.
But that gives structure to those conversations.
Yes.
Because obviously, as we know, if you ask a 6-year-old, how was your day?
Good.
If you ask your 4-year-old, how was your day?
Good.
And so while we're working on better adjectives, we find that structure and making the conversation almost of a game. Mm-hmm. We learn things about them in their day that we never would have otherwise.
Sure. Another thing that we like to do, whether at the table or later in the night, is we have this conversation jar that I made for the families at our church. And inside are just a lot of different questions that we can ask. And the kids are able to pick one, and then we all answer it, or everybody can answer a different one. And obviously, you could just write questions on paper and
Sure.
put them in a jar or a basket or whatever. But it's a fun way just to get conversation going. That's intentional at the table, and really you get to know each other better. You spend all this time together, but you really do get to hear how your kids are and what's on their heart.
And for us, that's actually become a way that Eloise, our daughter, will kind of indicate to us that she wants to just talk. And she'll like
Yes.
go pull it out of the cabinet and come sit with it and just start playing with it. And we're like, okay, she wants
Yeah.
someone to ask her a question, or she
Yeah.
wants to ask us a question.
Yeah. Another great thing you can do is always, like, if your kids aren't feeling it, have them lead it. Like, and we can talk about that in the other elements, but they will lead a lot at the table. We also like to do something called catechisms at the table. Some people can get really legalistic about this. We try really not to, because there's nothing perfect in our home about this. But catechisms are just kind of like a call and response that we do with our kids to help them start to learn some of the foundations of our faith, the theology of our faith. And so what we use is the New City Catechism, which I just wanted to show you a couple of these books. We also use the app a lot, because when you're sitting at the dinner table, books aren't really the easiest thing, but apps and what's linked in their app is really great. We're going to link all the resources that we show you here today in our description, so you can get to all of these and check them out for yourself. But we love this one. It's short and sweet, and our kids love it. There's songs even linked to every single catechism, so it can be like, what is God? And they'll be like, God is the creator of everyone and everything. And we added extra stuff to it.
The idea behind catechisms is that after so much repetition, by a certain age, they've learned the really fundamental doctrines of the Christian faith, and those kind of set their worldview and allow them to thrive in their spiritual maturation.
Yeah. So that's kind of what our dinner table will look like. We don't let that take over the whole time, but we'll just start to do a little bit of it. And you as the parent, you know when your kids are like there with you when it's time to stop and just leave it for the night. Or maybe there's a moment you're like, no, we really need to push through and finish this. So I think as a parent, you know your kids the best, and you know when enough's enough and when it's time to transition. And so by the time we're done eating, we move into the living room for more family worship. We leave the dirty plates, we leave the crumbs, all the food that, I don't know how, but it didn't make it into our mouth, and it's all on the floor, but we leave it all. We leave the mess, and we go into the living room for the next part.
At most, we may say, go get on PJs, go potty, brush your teeth.
Yes.
Because we want to end the night with prayer, kind of close out worship by going to bed and praying together. But that doesn't have to happen that way.
No. Yeah.
So we'll move into the living room, and the kids kind of take ownership because they've done it so much and they like to feel like it's theirs. They will go get all of the resources that we use, or whatever Bible resource that we've chosen, or devotional book, and they will bring it to us, and they'll take their seat on the couch, and they kind of know this is how it goes. We're going to sit. They'll each kind of pick a parent to sit on, or on top of, or under, whatever, right? It's going to be chaos, but they're on the couch with us, and we have one who sits and can read.
Sometimes, by the way. Bo's just starting to sit on the couch with us, but for a long time, family worship was Eloise on the couch and Bo on the floor with Hot Wheels.
Right.
So it's fine.
And
it's the practice.
And that bothered me at first. I was like, he needs to be paying attention. Like, he at least needs to be learning to pay attention. But at least in his world, what we learned was while he was rolling his little Hot Wheels around on the ground, he was listening, and he would chime in at times that I really didn't expect him to, even at the age of 2 or 3. Right?
And think about babies sitting in like a baby rocker while you all do this, and we're talking about baby development. They're seeing, these grown-ups sit and they pay attention to something important right now, and that lays the foundation for them to pay attention and learn later down the road. So like any stage, any season, it's important that the practice is happening.
Right.
So we read the Bible together, and talk to us about like passages and things that we do like that.
Sure. So a lot of these resources kind of have a direction for you to follow. Like the one Bible resource we're using is, you want to hold it up for them to see? This is the Hands-On Bible. We love it because it's so interactive. It uses a translation of the Bible, the New Living Translation, that is exceptionally helpful for kids to understand. But it also, as you're reading the text and going through the Bible story, it's giving you things that you can do with your kids, interactive motions or sounds you can make that help keep the kids engaged, which is it's an excellent resource.
Yeah.
And so we'll do something like that, or I will come with a text that's been on my heart, perhaps something that I read in my own quiet times or devotionals that I just really want my family to rally around. However, when I read it, if I read it word for word, I have to go back and say it in a way that my kids will relate to. Or if you are prepared to do this, you can perhaps translate as you read, kind of into a language or vernacular, if you will, that they can follow. So I'm not just reading the text and being like, what do you think of this, 6-year-old Eloise? Like we have to frame it in such a way that they can hear it. We'll talk them through it, maybe provide examples of what this looks like in our life, how to apply it. But we try to always make sure it's presented in a way that a child can understand.
Sure. I think knowing your audience, knowing your kids is really great because we love our kids and we know them. We've changed resources many times because of just the way one is connecting with them. Now, when I say resource, they're always still rooted in the Bible. So we might have the Beginner's Bible, or we might have the Read-to-Me Bible, or the Jesus Calling Bible. Right now we're on My First Hands-On Bible, and there's even more of these. But it's what works for your family. So there's no one-size-fits-all, like I said, or perfect Bible. This is going to make your family worship just perfect. But this is what's working for us right now because of the way it engages the kids, these hands-on ways that they'll act out or repeat or look for something in the room that helps them think back to the story is really helpful. It also has questions to ask at the end, or a song or a Jesus connection that points them back to Jesus and the gospel in every story, which I just love. And then it'll have a prayer that we do. But I think it's important. In episode 1, we talked about this. There's 4 elements of family worship. In our mind, this is how I think about it. You will read the Bible. You're going to teach the Bible, sing, and pray. And so we try to incorporate all of those elements into our family worship. So we'll read together, we'll read a passage, and then we'll sing together. Or some nights we'll sing first and then we'll read. But we're trying to check all of these things so that our children are really experiencing what it means to dive into knowing the Lord more. And so what we do is we have a YouTube playlist that we love. It has all of our favorite worship songs on it, and we'll add to them, as we find some. And the kids will sing along with us. Some are very geared towards preschoolers because that's one season of life we're in. Some are more geared for us, our older daughter, but we sing with them. We'll try to at least sing 1 or 2 songs, some nights even more. And we truly do. We sit and we just sing on the couch with each other. If it's a song preschoolers love, we'll do the motions together and just have fun with it. But I mean, it's really powerful at times, just sitting with your family and singing praises to God. It might sound so strange, but think about it. On Sunday mornings, we do that with our church family, and it's not strange there. So why should it be strange in our home with the family that God has knit and created for you? So we have talked, we have read, we have taught, and we have sung. And then the last thing we do is pray.
Before we go to pray, can I add a couple notes to sing?
No.
So
Yes.
I think one of the reasons that singing can be so uncomfortable is because not every family is a musical family. And we're blessed that we are. Our kids can match pitch. They have a good time singing. They love singing. We can both sing. But if you're not musically inclined, it can be intimidating to just start singing in front of your family.
For sure.
And so that's where, as parents, we just kind of have to swallow the pride and start singing out for our kids to hear and let them see us be
vulnerable
and undignified in such a way, and just let those words rip out and sing to a pre-recorded song, right? This isn't karaoke night.
You don't have to write your own music.
Right. Sing with the songs that exist, but find the songs that really worship God. And then I will say there are kind of 2 ways you can go. You can start singing 2 songs and sing lots of different songs to expose your kids and your family to all kinds of wonderful worship music that they're out there. Or for a time you can zero in on one song and learn that and allow that song to be your family's anthem. And so we've done both, where now we have 2 songs that we sing on the regular. The first is This Is the Day, which is like a children's jingle, but it's a classic. And every time we get in the car together to go somewhere in the morning, to start the day, one of the kids or Martha or I will be like, okay, it's time to sing. The kids know this is the day. And so you just set the tone of the day or the trip or whatever you're doing with that song and that praise. And then the other song that we've really loved is His Glory and Our Good. And we don't know the whole song, but we know the chorus. And so at night, if we're not trying to turn the TV on or get the energy too high, we'll sing the chorus of that song and just allow that praise to be lifted up and go from there.
It's really powerful, and I encourage you to give it a try. The last thing that we'll do is pray together as a family, and we make sure to always give opportunity for every child to pray. We let them pray first. We'll even talk about what we should and can pray for before they begin to pray. So you might have a moment where you're like, who are some people that we can pray for? Or who is somebody in your life that you're thankful for? Or how can you be thankful to God of how He's blessed you today? And start to help them recall the things that they can be thankful for in their prayers and express gratitude for, or just thank God for being God and who He is, and then presenting a request to God, and just trying to teach them habits of prayer too. I mean, when I say all of this, we're not giving them the 5 to 7 minute lecture every night, but just little bits here and there. Hey, what can you thank God for tonight? Or who's somebody you want to pray for? Or what's a sin that we need to ask for forgiveness for tonight? Whatever it may be. And then we give each child a chance to pray.
Yeah. And so I'll just tack on again. I like to pray before the kids just so that I can, again, every night show them how to pray. But sometimes they're super eager and they just want to pray, and I never want to say, not yet. Watch me first, right?
Yeah.
And
the order isn't that.
And prayer
crucial.
is such a beautiful window into their heart as well, for good and for worse. Like, you can see, like, hey, one child may be super concerned about family. Well, the other child is, in this current season, really just interested in their stuff. Yeah. And it's not something that you...
Thank God for Lightning McQueen and Blaze and Dusty Crop Popper on the daily right now.
In the same prayer in which he prays for his friends to come to church, right? Like, it's... So we don't critique that, but like, you're gonna just see, hey, we've told you who God is. We're gonna talk to Him. This is where we tell Him the most important things in our minds, and that's just, we're gonna get what we get.
I always say to our kids, this is your time to talk to God, and so you just tell Him what's on your heart. He knows your heart, so pour it out to Him, and it's really beautiful.
It's my hope that all of you get to experience the run-on prayers. Those are my favorite, where one, typically this is our son, but it was Eloise at one point as well, where he'll just get going and he'll keep his eyes closed and he'll kind of forget where he is, and he'll just keep listing off things he's thankful for or that he wants to see happen. And our daughter will start to look at us and what's happening right now.
It's just so
and we
precious.
We just let it up. Everyone stops and just kind of embraces that, hey, this 4-year-old has connected with his creator, and he's just letting it rip.
Thank you for the grass. Thank you for the clouds.
Yeah.
Thank you for the water. Thank you for the mountains. I mean, I feel like in times Bo is so much more clued into the tiniest details of God's creation than we're so busy we can't see it. But it's really beautiful. Yeah. Really beautiful to hear your children
food
pray.
Might be cold after, but...
Worth
it's
it.
a beautiful moment. Yeah.
That's why we have microwaves.
That's right.
So anyway, we let our children pray. We will pray, and then we take them to bed, or we let them play, whatever the rest of the night looks like. But I hope that's given you some kind of picture of what family worship could look like, with the reading, the singing, the teaching, the praying. How you incorporate that is going to look different for every family, but we hope that this has encouraged you today to just start somewhere. Set aside a night. Circle it on your calendar. Tonight's the night. We're going to have family worship. We're going to set aside this time just for this, and we're going to give it a try, and it might be a complete disaster, but we did it, and it's the practice of it's about showing up. It's about being present, not perfect. And maybe in another episode we can tell them about the first time we did family worship and the epic fail that it was. But
It was a good time.
A great time.
Yours probably will have a lot of failure as well.
Yeah.
But God isn't calling us to perfection.
Nope.
Just wants us to show up.
Yep, and he will meet you there. So we're praying for you. We love you, and we love your children, and we're praying for God to just transform your homes with this family worship and the practice of, entering into his presence and bringing him into your home.
That's right. See you next time.
Bye.